Is flipping the main breaker and doing a quick check on a smartphone app really all it takes to safely commission a new solar power system? Welcome to the explainer. It's a super common practice, but as our sources highlight today, it's actually a deeply flawed one. A solar installation absolutely isn't finished just because the wires are hooked up and the lights turn on. Today, we're taking a deep dive into true engineering validation. We're going to look at the exact electrical checks that experienced technicians use to prove a system is genuinely safe before they ever hand it over to a customer. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. The startup myth, 2. Hidden safety gaps, 3. Core electrical formulas, 4. Step-by-step validation, and finally, 5. Documenting safe operation. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The startup myth. Why turning it on isn't enough. So let's dive into a really dangerous misconception in the industry, which is the idea that a solar system is good to go simply because the inverter powers up. There is a massive, stark contrast between an amateur mindset and a professional standard here. You see, a lot of commissioning tutorials for solar setups treat this whole process as just a basic startup procedure. You flip the breakers, see if the inverter hums to life, check the battery voltage on an app, and confirm you've got AC output. Well, that amateur approach is kind of like just kicking the tires of a used car and assuming it's ready for a cross-country road trip. It only asks one question: does the system turn on? The professional standard, on the other hand, is a full diagnostic check. It demands a much higher burden of proof. It asks, can every single electrical measurement confirm the system is operating safely, efficiently, and within its design parameters? That is a totally different perspective. Moving on to Section 2, Hidden Safety Gaps, What Installers Miss. This is where that amateur startup sequence totally falls apart, and the high-stakes detective work really begins. Our sources point out several critical safety points that so often go completely unverified. For example, installers might connect the grounding conductors, right? But they never actually test for earth-ground continuity. Missing that step creates an immediate, potentially fatal shock hazard. Or think about DC polarity confirmation. So many systems are energized without anyone ever verifying the polarity of the MC4 connectors out on the solar panels. A reverse polarity mistake there, that can instantly blow the inverter electronics and release the dreaded magic smoke. Plus, skipping independent current verification or voltage drop measurements means undersized cables and poor crimps just go completely unnoticed. That is, until they start a fire. And that brings us to a quote from our sources that literally hits the nail on the head for our explainer today. The goal is not merely operation. The goal is documented proof of safe operation. A working system can still be a deeply dangerous system. Look, if you don't have documented physical measurements proving the integrity of the setup, you're essentially operating on hope. And honestly, in electrical engineering, hope is a terrible strategy. All right, Section 3, Core Electrical Formulas, the physical laws of failure. To truly validate safety, we need the right mathematical toolkit. You can think of these core formulas as the physical laws of failure, because they tell us exactly what invisible forces are doing inside those cables. Let's look at the central commissioning equation. Power equals voltage multiplied by current. It's super simple, but it's the absolute foundation of everything we do. If a system is producing 50 volts and 40 amps, this formula tells us we're dealing with 2,000 watts of power. We use this to verify that the conductors we installed are actually carrying the loads we expect, without exceeding their safety ratings. It's really fascinating how the sources map out these electrical relationships in the real world. Higher current produces more voltage drop, heats up your cables, and stresses out the connectors. Higher resistance, which is often caused by just a bad crimp or a loose lug, produces more heat, lowers your efficiency, and drastically increases the risk of fire. And poor grounding? Well, that produces fault clearing problems and severe shock hazards. These are the literal physical manifestations of invisible forces. If you don't actively measure for them, you won't know they're there until you start smelling melting insulation. Now, here's where the math gets genuinely surprising, showing us how tiny errors compound into massive dangers. There's another key formula we use. Power equals current squared multiplied by resistance. Because the current is squared, doubling your current actually creates 4 times the amount of heat. Let's say you have a voltage loss of just 0.8 volts with 40 amps of current. That means your resistance is a mere 0.02 ohms. I mean, it sounds totally insignificant, right? But apply that to our heat formula, and suddenly, a surprisingly tiny resistance on a loose battery terminal becomes a massive thermal hazard when the system is under a heavy load. Section 4. Step-by-step validation. Commissioning a 5 kilowatt system. Let's take that detective toolkit, our formulas, and our safety mindset, and apply them to a methodical, step-by-step validation of a 5 kilowatt system. Here is the exact 5-step investigative procedure that professionals use. We're literally mapping the journey of the power, starting up at the solar array, flowing down into the battery bank, verifying the charging current, testing the AC output of the inverter, and finally proving our safety net through ground continuity. Let's break down those first 2 steps, verifying array voltage and battery voltage. Step 1 is taking a DC voltage measurement straight from the array before the power ever hits the charge controller. This confirms your panels are wired correctly and, crucially, verifies the polarity. If you skip this and the polarity happens to be reversed, boom, you destroy the equipment. Step 2 is battery voltage. You have to measure this directly at the battery terminals with a multimeter, not through an app. Relying on a smartphone app to measure your battery voltage is kind of like trusting a weather app to tell you if it's raining instead of just looking out the window. A direct measurement is the only way to confirm the actual state of charge and verify wiring integrity. Your app is never going to tell you if you have a dangerous voltage drop across a loose cable. For steps 3 and 4, we move over to current and AC output. Using a DC clamp meter, which is great because it measures current right through the wire's insulation, we confirm that energy is actually moving to storage. This is vital. If the sunlight is booming but the charging current is low, your independent clamp meter measurements will reveal array wiring issues or panel performance problems that a simple voltage check just cannot detect. After that, we measure the AC voltage at the inverter output. We aren't just looking to see if the lights turn on, we're verifying that the inverter is providing stable power regulation under an actual real-world load. And now, step 5, ground continuity. We absolutely must physically verify the connection between the ground rod, the ground bus bar, the inverter chassis, the equipment enclosures, and the array frame. Honestly, grounding is probably the most misunderstood area of solar installation. Just connecting a grounding wire to a terminal does not guarantee safety. We have to physically measure the continuity to confirm that fault currents have a highly reliable path straight back to the ground. Without that path, your protective breakers might not even trip during a fault, which leaves the entire metal chassis dangerously energized. Section 5. Documenting safe operation, the final review. So, we've gathered all our forensic clues. Now we enter our final phase, documenting safe operation. This is where we bring the whole shebang together for the final operational review to definitively prove the system is safe. A true professional finishes with an extensive review. You verify the solar production, the protective devices, and your terminal integrity. But notice that final step, perform a thermal inspection under load. A connection can easily pass a basic voltage test, but still become a really dangerous fire hazard once high current starts flowing. Heat indicates resistance. Resistance indicates energy loss. And excessive resistance, well, that becomes a fire. When all these measurements, the voltage, the current, the continuity, and the thermal data, match our design expectations, only then is the system truly ready for service. I want to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up today's explainer. What is the first measurement you perform when commissioning a new solar installation? Is it array voltage, battery voltage, or are you just flipping a breaker and hoping for the best? I really want you to rethink your own mandatory safety checklist. Never assume a conductor is safe simply because a breaker is turned off. And please never rely on an app to do the job of a multimeter. Stay safe, verify every single measurement, and thanks for joining me on this deep dive.